that he struck with his Democratic colleague Chris Coons. You saw him on the television just there with Senator Flake, and a short time ago I spoke to Senator Coons from Capitol Hill. Senator Coons, where are we now that this FBI report looks like it might be released any moment? Have we got somewhere that you hoped we would get to when you and Senator Jeff Flake, Republican senator, managed to come to some kind of agreement, understanding last Friday?
Well, Kathy, I think it's been a significant step forward that Senator Flake made possible. He's a Republican. I'm a Democrat. He's a conservative. I'm not. If he hadn't hit the pause button last Friday, Judge Kavanaugh would already be on the court. So that the FBI took several days to interview a range of witnesses, I think was a positive thing. I hope that they have not already concluded their investigation. There are still a number of folks I think they should interview. But I do think this moment, this respite of bipartisanship sent an important message to our colleagues in the country that when someone like Dr. Ford comes forward with credible allegations of assault, they are investigated, not simply ignored.
And what do you anticipate the reaction to be from your Democratic colleagues once this FBI report is released? Will they just accept it and move forward in a more bipartisan way, perhaps?
That would be a hopeful view of the likely outcome. I suspect that depending on the outcome, there will be sharply different views of the facts and of what's appropriate next. My hope is that we've come a little bit closer together in terms of having a shared body of facts to work from. I don't know yet anything about what will be in the FBI report to the Senate. But I am very much looking forward to reading it later this week.
So Republicans are accusing Democrats now of changing the goalposts. Having looked at the issue of sexual assault, Democrats are now concerned about the issue of character and temperament. I'm going to read you something that Senator Orrin Hatch, of course a Republican who is on the Judiciary Committee, has written in the Wall Street Journal today. We're starting to see arguments like the following. Even if Judge Kavanaugh is innocent, what he said at the hearing and how he said it is disqualifying. This is rich. The hearing occurred in the first place only because of Democratic duplicity. How do you respond?
I think Senator Hatch, colleague and friend, is sort of mixing two key points. It is always appropriate to question whether or not someone has the right judicial temperament if they have the sort of unmeasured, aggressive, and clearly partisan outburst that Judge Kavanaugh had. It wasn't an outburst. It was a planned, written, and fiercely delivered address directed at the Democrats on the Judiciary Committee last week. I think implicitly there, to make the second point, Senator Hatch is sort of giving Judge Kavanaugh a pass for being as furious as he was because of the circumstances that led to the hearing. I think that could excuse his being very angry, his being very agitated, but I don't think it excuses the partisan nature of his attacks on the committee. Judge Kavanaugh would have been far better served to leave those arguments to his partisan defenders on the committee. As a sitting circuit court judge, as a nominee to our Supreme Court, it was not constructive for him to inject that very sharp-edged partisan assault on a number of the committee members.
Whatever the wrongs or rights of this case, and we don't know the facts yet, we may never know the facts, I've spoken to some of your Democratic colleagues in the Senate who are very concerned that this is hurting Democrats, that they are seeing their poll numbers, particularly Democrats like Claire McCaskill, who are running in conservative states, they are seeing their approval ratings really being hurt, that there is a chance of a Republican backlash, a Republican motivator, because of the whole Kavanaugh case. Are you concerned about that?
Well, I think what that reflects, Kathy, is that there are millions of Americans who've got real problems and issues in front of them. They've got family members or a community that's been deeply affected by opioids and heroin addiction. And they don't hear that we are actually passing big bipartisan bills that senators like Senator McCaskill have helped craft and shape. Instead, they're hearing about what they view as endless bickering, partisan bickering over Judge Kavanaugh and his high school yearbook.
Senator Chris Coons, thanks very much for joining us.
Thank you, Kathy.
Well, just a short